Hey guys, how's it going? Dragox55 here. This is a second recording of this because a bug decided to roam right next to me and had to be taken care of. More on that in the Let's Play, but anyways, this is my Destiny Simorgh deck. I know a bunch of you wanted like Spellbook, whatever his face was, Evil Swarms and whatever. But that will be coming up. I had to get to the decks that were requested before those before I can get to the ones that are current. Except some of them, like if they're easy and I know how to build them right away, then I can get to them right away. So this one was a little bit of a toughie, but I actually got to it pretty quickly. Basically, if you want to know what the main thing is, we want Dart Simorgh out so we can stop your opponent from setting traps. We want Plasma so that we can stop your opponent from using monster effects. And you want Anti-Spell Fragrance to stop your opponent from activating spells. And what I mean by that is, well, we'll get into more of it, but your opponent, well, both people have to set their spells first, and you can activate them next turn. The Simorgh prevents setting, which is why I said Simorgh gets rid of traps that your opponent controls. So basically it's an old-fashioned lockdown. There are probably I actually don't know where that thought was going. Anyways, so let's get into the deck. We have one dandy sent to the grave. You get 2 fluff tokens, defense. They cannot be tributed, like for Kaius or Jinzo or something. You know. Other things to note, if it's sent from the field, deck, or hand, it still gets this effect, so yeah, pretty good. Next, we use the tokens for Plasma. I'm curious. Any of these tokens we're going to talk about, we use for Plasma or the Mecha Phantom Beast, so. Next up, we have 2 Simorgh. 3 is kind of pushing it. Basically, it gets a wind attribute, that's why I kind of want to play as a Harpies. But Harpies didn't work out really well with this because they are not quick enough with this type of deck. I guess, or I was just building it really badly. I don't know. But I really prefer this build a lot more than the other one. So anyways, it's treated as wind also, but it really doesn't matter about that. You can banish 1 dark and 1 wind to summon it from the graveyard. Or no, you can summon it from your hand if you banish a dark and a wind from your graveyard. You can summon it from your graveyard if you banish a dark and a wind from your graveyard or hand. So if you try and get it from the grave, you banish a dark and wind from your hand. The hand, you have to banish a dark, and you know what? It says it on the card. You can understand. And basically, its effect is your opponent can't set. That applies to Scrap Iron going back face down. It doesn't. Your opponent can't set monsters. They have to play them in attack. That sounded really weird, but sorry. They can't book Moon you from as far as I remember. So they can't really set anything, and it shuts down worms as well, from what I remember too. 1 Debris Dragon. Debris Dragon isn't really like the greatest thing. I might take him out, put him in for like a plague or something. Is right, quite frankly, I don't really care for him. Since he only gets dandy, it helps out in that fashion, but basically, I mean, it negates the effect of whatever brings back. Doesn't matter. Dandy's a graveyard effect. Graveyard effects are things that activate in the grave, such as Stardust. If anyone has noticed, if you try to Phoenix Chain a Stardust, it doesn't matter because Stardust can tribute itself for a cost. Same thing for if you were trying to effect failure it or something. I mean, most people don't know about Stardust that much. Anything that tries to activate in the or anything that activates in the grave, it doesn't really apply to the matters of this. So yeah. Anyways. This card can't be used for Synchro Summon other than Dragon type Synchros, and you cannot use a level 4 with this card, so you have to do like level 2 and 2 to make a Stardust. Our dragons are Black Rose, Star Eater, and Stardust. I mean, I don't really make Stardust too much, but it's there. I thought I could use this card, but yeah, it's 500 and less. 2 Plasma. As I said, it bundles up the hand too much. It's not really searchable too much, considering that I don't have Stratos, or Stratos is banned. So that's why I can't use like a hero engine for this. So kind of sucks in that fashion. Granted, I don't really need a hero engine for this. I could use like Diamond Dude, but it doesn't really matter either way. So you tribute 3 to special summon it. It is not considered a tribute summon, so cards like Scapegoat or Dandy, well, you don't have to worry about when it comes to this. Anyway, so it negates your opponent's monsters, and it can take one of your opponent's monsters to gain half the attack. Also, you can only have one equipped monster at a time, so this card stops a lot of decks that are pretty much annoying nowadays, like Light Sworn. Yeah, Light Sworn it stops. If you have more attack than Judgment than it does. It stops Constellars, it stops Fire Fist. It does not stop Dragon Rulers or Lanteans. As far as I know, Lanteans, it depends on the card. Other things, it stops Evil Swarm. Well, no, technically Evil Swarm, if they get Ophion, it basically blocks this guy, so yeah, you can't do anything if Evil Swarm are out. I don't know, actually. Thunders? What? I'm just going based off of what I've seen people play. Spellbooks, kinda. Not really, because they use spell cards instead of it. Which is, anti-spell does shut it down, if you're wondering. Anyways, that's enough of Plasma. You get the point. 3 Mecha Phantom Beast, Hamstrat. Basically, when it's flipped face up, you get 2 tokens. Thing to note about Mecha Phantom Beast is that it doesn't matter on the tokens, as long as there's a token on the field, a Escape Sheep token, Stray Lamb token, a Karibo token, Dandy token, whatever. I mean, whatever you're trying to do with the deck, that's like random. Anyways, it prevents the Phantom Beast from being destroyed. Same thing for Dracosac. These cards can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects if there's a token on the field. So basically, you're stuck to D-prisons if you try and get rid of these cards. If they have tokens, so watch out for that. Another thing to note is these cards get 3 levels for each token. That's a Mecha Phantom Beast. So, yep. Because Mecha Phantom Beast tokens are all level 3. From what I've noticed. Unless there's something that I haven't seen. So, basically, keep that in mind. Its effect is you contribute a token, which doesn't matter what type token, and bring back Mega Phantom Beast. You special summon it, so I guess you can bring back Raptor, I guess? Or even this. Well, no, you don't want to bring back Tether Wolf. You would probably bring back Mega Raptor. And I think you could bring back... Yeah, you could bring back Hamstrat as well, but it doesn't go any further because it's a once per turn effect. So next up, Mega Raptor. Something I didn't want to put in here because it doesn't really generate tokens fast, but when I looked at it more, I needed more Mega Phantom Beast. So yeah, here's my 9 of them. I mean, there's XYZs of course, but whatever. Basically, when a token is special summoned, it doesn't matter if it's any type token. You special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast token. And of course the token has to be special summoned to your side of the field. When let's see what else is there. We talked about the levels. You can tribute token add a Mega Phantom Beast, which you would add Tetherwolf. Yeah, that's pretty much all I could really say about it. Really, I went for the Mega Phantom Beast archetype here, or engine a little bit. It's not really even an engine, it's just the cards. But I basically went for those because Plasma likes tokens, and it works a little better than the Harpies do. Also, another thing to note, if you want to take out Debris, or even if you want to play like 3 Plasmas, or even 3 Simorgh, by all means go ahead. It doesn't slow down a deck too much, as there's only 5 monsters that are higher than level 5, so just something I would point out. Tetherwolf, though. You normal summon it and you get a Mech Phantom Beast token during a battle phase, or during damage step, during either player's turn. If you are to battle a monster with this card, if you're being attacked or you're attacking your bonus monster, you tribute it once per battle, or tribute a token once per battle, my bad. And it gains, your monster gains 800 attack, and basically it becomes a summon skull for the turn. It's 2,500 attack. So, not too much stuff that gets over that. I mean, it matches point for point with Spellbook of Judgment. High Priestess of Spellbook, something like that. I don't remember her name. The spellbook that can destroy the spellbook monster that destroys stuff that spellbooks always go for. I don't know. High Priestess of Prophecy, that's what it's called. Anyway, so yeah, point for point, and the fun thing is, even if you point for point, as long as you have another token, you can basically protect your monster and take out stuff without any problems. 3 Hanzo. You can play upstarts as well, which lets you get these ninjas for rank 4s, but you know, I don't really care for that. A second effect, you can get another ninja if you special summon or flip summon this card, but quite frankly, it doesn't let you get Hanzo, so don't worry about it. As Hanzo's the only monster in your deck that's ninja. You can add a ninjutsu card from your deck to your hand if you normal summon this card. So you would add the ninjutsu art transformation. I've gone over this I think before, but we'll go over it when I get down to the card. On Dragox55, you take any battle damage, you can special summon it, and it gains 600 attack and defense for each card in your hand, so keep that in mind. You probably want to keep a bigger hand when you have this card, but that's up to you. Another thing is, once per turn, you can send a monster from your hand to the grave to target one of your opponent's monsters. Keep in mind, XYZs are ranks, not levels, so Dragox55 does nothing to stop XYZs. Anyways, so you can take control of your opponent's monster, and that's pretty much it. And the other effect is you can change its level to be something in the grave. So, like you have a Tetherwolf in the grave, you can make it rank or level 4 for rank 4s, or even synchro up for something. So, Dragox is pretty good if you're trying to go for like a rank 10 deck, or even if you're trying to do like a synchro base, whatever. Gores is also another option, but because I'm playing 4 continuous space stuff, I'd rather not run Gores, because Gores can be a dead draw. So, one Alert of Darkness, you run a total of 8, I think, 2, 4, yeah, 8 darks, so you can banish something you don't need. For anyone that doesn't know, you draw 2 and banish 1 dark. If you don't have a dark, it sends all the cards in your hand to the grave. So, yeah. Another thing about Lord of Darkness that a lot of people do, and it just puzzles my mind. I mean, I watched this on another YouTuber's channel. The rulings for Lord of Darkness, and this is like a mental ruling, this isn't an actual ruling, but, you know, if you have a Hanzo, and you're trying to get more cards, and the only card in your hand that's dark is a Hanzo, do not Allure of Darkness, because if you do, and you don't draw into, like, let's say you draw into 2 creature swaps, you will end up losing Hanzo and end up probably losing a lot more life points than if you just summon Hanzo and went for a play. So don't alert darkness if you only have one dark, unless if you're in the, like, if you're about to lose and you have no other choice. Something that I probably would want to point out. But you shouldn't worry about it because you have plenty of other monsters that you probably could draw into, but something that just bugs me when people do it. I do it sometimes, but, you know, that's my own fault. One burial from a different dimension, of course. I'm going to be banishing stuff with Dark Simorgh, probably some other stuff, I guess. So I could return 3 removed play monsters and put them back in the grave, which makes me wonder if I banish a Dandy, would I get the effect? If anyone wants to put that in the comment section down below, I will gladly appreciate it, because I don't know if Dandy, because it says it returns them to the grave. So I guess it wouldn't go off, but I'm assuming Dandy wouldn't go off. But if you know for a fact if Dandy gets an effect from going from the remove from play to the graveyard, then, you know, by all means, go ahead and tell me. I probably know by the end of this video, but go ahead and tell me anyways. 2 creature swap. Basically, you can creature swap your token for another opponent's monster. Keep in mind, both people get to choose what monster they change or switch, and you cannot change battle position of those monsters at that current time until the end phase. Of course, my card effect is still in play. So you can use it to summon out Plasma. Like if you use Dandy and you don't want to use the token, and your opponent has like a Draco Sack, you can creature swap, take their, or they give you Draco Sack, you give them Dandy, I guess, and you use Plasma, or even you bring out tokens with Draco Sack, I don't know. But creature swap, such an annoying card if you use it on your opponent, because like your opponent's like trying to build up your plays. If you creature swap them, it gets very annoying for them. And yeah, I know you might have saw my dual Zane. Every time, stupid creature swap would switch in something I didn't want, and it was very annoying. So yeah, I decided to use it. For anyone that's curious, I did use Zane's deck, but I broke it down and made it into my own. 1 Dark Hole destroys all monsters on the field, didn't need to tell you that. Same thing for MSC, gets rid of back row, 1 per MSC. 2 Pod Dualities, brief, reveal 3, add 1 to your hand, and you can't special summon for the rest of the turn. The turn that you activate this card, and you can only activate 1 Pod Duality. 1 Reinforcement on the army. I guess you can take it out and put a Summoner Monk in here, which would put your deck at 20 monsters and 9 dark monsters. But I mean, it's up to you. I mean, Reinforcement only gets these monsters. Anyone that's curious, it adds a level 4 lower warrior type monster, which is pretty decent. But, you know, I mean, there's better cards, but I really just try to speed up getting Hanzos. 2 Scapegoat. I guess 4 sheep token, and the tokens obviously can't be tribute summoned. Keep in mind, if you're going to use them for Plasma, you activate them at the end phase, so you can summon Plasma out. No, if you activate it the turn you activate this card, you cannot summon it by any means, so I have failed to understand that a few times. So we play 2 of them since they're at 3. I might bump it down to 1, but really, this is a good stall card. Granted, it does slow down the deck a little bit if you can't really summon, because there's like a little troll thing I like to do where if my opponent activates Scapegoat, and then I like to destroy one of their monsters and do like Ojama Trio, or maybe it's like 2 monsters, whatever, and Ojama Trio, and then they can't like tribute, and then they're just sitting there for like an hour because they can't summon because they screwed themselves over. Fun thing to watch. Like, people get really angry if they can't do anything. Which works really well with this combo of no traps, no spells, no monster effect, so basically that's the deck, to stop monster effect, traps, and spells. So keeping in mind that Dark Simorgh makes no one being, or makes your opponent can't set stuff, which means traps, monsters, or anything, not even spells. So keeping that in mind, anti-spell fragrance. It basically makes it so both players have to set spell cards. Downside is you have to set spell cards too. Plus side is your opponent can't set spell cards, so they can't activate spell cards, which means you're allowed to activate all the traps you want, all the spells you want, all the monster effects you want, and your opponent can't activate monster effects. They can't activate spells or traps. This is why this deck is very, very deadly in a duel. It shuts down a lot of things like spellbooks if you can get the combo off. We'll get into more of that in a little bit. I want to get to the other trap card. One bottomless, destroy and banish a monster 1500 more attack. Stardust can negate it, of course. Also bounce back a monster that's being annoying. 2 Mirror Force, I might bump this down to 1 and put in 2 D prisons, because removing from play is actually better than destroying in a lot of cases. 2 Ninjutsu Art of Transformation. Let me move this over. Basically, you would normal summon this and get Ninjutsu Art. Of course, the only one you have is Ninjutsu Art of Transformation. You can put this at 3, but, you know, I didn't want to have like 3 Ninjutsu Art Transformation, 3 Anti-Spell, and get like stuck with them. There is cards that help out with continuous traps, but quite frankly, when I get done explaining it, you'll know why I don't want to do that. So anyways, I tribute a ninja monster, and I special summon a beast, winged beast, or insect. There is another card like this, but it brings out dragon, dinosaur, or warrior. I believe that's what it was. So this one is the one you're going with here. So anyways, so plus 3 levels, of course, which, if you haven't noticed, Simorgh is 7 levels, and Hanzo is 4, so it's an instant Simorgh, and basically, if you get Hanzo, and you have anti-spell, you basically have the lock, because you would summon Hanzo, and then you would you would summon Hanzo, and you would get Ninjutsu Art Transformation. Ninjutsu Art Transformation, you'd activate on your opponent's turn. Of course, you can activate at the draw phase, whatever, and you would bring out Simorgh. Now, your opponent can't set anything. Traps are now no longer a threat. And then you would flip over Anti-Spell Fragrance. Now, spells and traps cannot be activated, so they can't just Dark Hole you. Of course, there are a bunch of monster effects, but they're not really that much of a problem to a 2700 attack point monster. I mean, there are decks that monster effects can outplay their spells, but, you know, a lot of decks can't handle this, like, situation of not being able to activate spells and traps. Like, most decks basically go for Zen mains, and that's pretty much all they can do. And then next turn, you probably bring out Plasma, and you'd be like, well, I win. Because, you know, Zen mains can't deal with this. Can't detach, Gotchi can't detach. Whatever, so. And 1 Solemn, because it's Solemn. 15 extra deck. 3 Dragons, because we run 1 Debris. Black Rose is usually the one you're going for, and nukes the field. You can also banish Dandy to get a monster, or put one of your opponent's monsters that are in defense into attack with 0 attack. Into the end phase, we did run Lone Fire, but then again, I kinda didn't like Lone Fire in this. It didn't feel right to me in the deck. It's not really the greatest thing. And just for a nerd target for Debris doesn't feel worth it. So, yeah, nerd, just something to keep in mind of what I went through. 1 Star Eater, basically my thought process is, you're getting tokens, Mech Phantom base tokens to be exact. So you're getting level 7, and you're getting a level 4, so you're combining them together, if you're wondering. There was Tempest in here, but, you know, I am a cool kid. I do not want to use Tempest in this deck if I can avoid it. If I was to use Tempest, I'd use 1, but, you know, if you guys want to, you can play in 3 Tempests, like Stain does, and yada yada. But quite frankly, I am not stooping to that level because I am better than that. One Stardust, it's there. I don't really think I can make it too much. I mean, the tokens, I don't know. I can make it with one of the fluff tokens and a Mecha Phantom Beast ham strap or something. I don't know, whatever. You guys can figure it out. One Daigaso Emerald to recycle the graveyard. There we go. Basically, it's also a win too, so it's a good thing. One Dragox Cowboy for burn damage, recommended for anything that makes little rank 4s. 2 Lavalval Chains, searches through the deck, puts Darks and Wind in the grave for you. 1 Leviair to get something that's banished. 2 Lightning Chidori, something I'm beta testing right now. Basically, you can summon out Debris and you can summon out like one of these two, and if the tokens aren't in the way, make Lightning Chidori. Lightning Chidori, my friends, allows you to send a set card on your opponent's side of the field back to the top or bottom of the deck, and once returned, you can detach one to target one face-up card on your opponent's side of the field, and return that target to the top of their deck. Pretty good. Kind of like Trunade, but like set down a lot. Really annoying for your opponent, really fun for you. One Misstroke is a dark level 4 or 2 rank 4, pretty good. 1 Dracosack, 1 Big Eye. If you can make rank 7s, these are possibly 2 that you should go for. I know people are saying you go for a Gaia Charger as well to do piercing damage. Quite frankly, I don't ever feel a need to go into Gaia Charger. It just feels like a burden having it there. I mean, it does piercing damage, could win games, but you know, I just never feel the need to go into it. 1 Black Ship because I don't like the fact that my opponent could sit there with Marsh or Spirit Reapers. And 1 Super, I might take this out. I don't know. But you can make rank 10s using, when you have 2 tokens, it gives 2 level 3s, 4 plus 3 plus 3 is 10, if you guys didn't know. So yeah, you can make it with 2 of these and make rank 10s if you're curious. Pretty much, this one's a really good one, and there's like a hot air balloon one, or blimp one, there it is, that you can do. You could even use this for rank 7s if you're curious. Other things to talk about. You can switch out Solemn Warning, Bottomless, or whatever for Vanity's Fiend if you want to go even more plus. And what I mean by that is go Dark Simorgh, go Plasma, and Anti-Spell. Your opponent can't your opponent can't activate monster effects, activate traps, or spells. And if you activate Vanity's Fiend as well, we're going into a lot more. Because Vanity's Fiend prevents your opponent from special summoning, and then you basically prevent special summoning too, so you have a lot of things, stops a lot of monsters, yada yada yada. I could go on about it. Imperial Iron Wall, this stuff like Iron or Elemental Dragon, Dragon Rulers, whatever they're called. I think that's pretty much it for the deck. This deck could be 1,000 times better, I'm sure. But right now, it's working for me. It does what I'm trying to do. It's not the greatest. If Stratos was unbanned, of course, it'd probably be better. Maybe if I put in hand destructions, or if I, maybe if I built more support for Mecha Phantom Beast, or maybe if I put a Tempest or something, I don't know. Let's not go into more thought about it. So, as for the deck, it's not a competitive deck by any means. It's more of a funsy deck, and if you like those kind of fun decks that you can lock down your opponent, by all means. I mean, you can make it into a competitive deck, like Card D's or something like that. I just don't like that card. I just really don't like it. You can put Lances in here, whatever. I mean, if you want to do BLS, by all means, go ahead. You put Valors in here. I think that's pretty much it. Sorry for the long video. There was kind of a lot to explain. Not really, but whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck recipe. I give this deck a 7.5, 8 out of 10. As I usually do. As this deck, if anyone's curious how I rate the deck, I rate the deck based on how well it does its job, if it has the cards that do its job, and how well I pretty much enjoy it. I mean, pretty much it's 8 out of 10, you know. I really enjoy it. It does its job of annoying stuff. It generates the tokens that I need to bring out plasmas. It gets the darkened winds for Simorgh, yada yada yada. I could go on. But this was requested and I got to it. I hope you enjoyed the deck, sir, and you know, go ahead and leave your comments if you want more deck requests. It goes for anyone, not just him. So, and as for everyone else's decks, we will get to them. Next up will probably be Battle Aliens, as I do have that set, but now we have to go test this out in duels. So yeah, see you guys in a little bit.